let's actually create the stock prices project, and let's see if we can do it in less than 45 minutes. So we'll go over here and we'll say stock prices, uh, say stock prices, and we'll create it in documents over here. Okay, so we just create this over here. Okay, so first thing we'll do is we'll actually go to main, and we will actually put this inside a navigator, embed in navigation controller. I'm not going to make the what do you call the icon and stuff. That's pretty easy. We can actually do that later. Okay, so we did that. Next step I want to do is I will add a view, UI view, drag and drop it over here, and then we will make it 0 from everywhere. That, and then we'll probably change the color something. Okay, that is it. We want two more views inside it. So this is the first view, and this is the second view. Okay, so first we also will change the color, something else, and this color also will be something else. Okay, next what we want to do is we will actually say that these two, the height is actually equal, so equal heights. So we'll add this constraint. Then what we'll do is we'll pin this one to the top. So we'll say 0, 0, 0, and we'll add these three constraints. And for this also we'll add 0, 0, 0, and 0. Oh, I think I forgot this one. So this is 0, 0, 0, and 0. Okay, so all four constraints, and for this also it'll be all four constraints. Okay, so now these guys are occupying all these places, and then what we'll do is we'll say equal height, view dot height. I think this is the one. So we'll say 2 is to 1. 2 is to 1, so top part is like this and the bottom part is like this. We'll actually go and say table view, and we'll add the table view over here. And then we will say this table view is 0 from all sides. That's perfect. And then we'll add a table view cell inside it, and this is the table view cell, and we'll call this as cell. Okay, so that is good. Next, what we want to do is we actually will add UI elements in there. So we'll actually say label, and we'll add a label over here, and this label would be we'll call this label as company name. So this is my company name, and I'll probably increase the size a little bit. Let's say 20. Right, then I need 5 of them. So I'll press Alt 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 5. So this is the company name. The second one would be symbol. The third one would be price. The fourth one would be day high, and the fifth one would be day low. Okay, then what we will do is for all of them, we'll select all of them, and we'll say you are center, and that is actually good. And then we'll actually Command Z, we'll actually select all of them again. And then we'll embed them inside a stack view. So embed them in the stack view. On for the stack view, what we are going to do is we are going to say that you are 0 from all sides. Okay, so stack view comes like this, and alignment is fill, and this is fill equally. Okay, so that is good. Even if we go to the smallest one, we actually go to the smallest one, and we'll see if it is looking okay. That is perfect. And if we rotate it, this is looking a little things are cutting out, so we'll actually change the font. a little bit. So we will come over here, we'll select all these, and we'll reduce the font a little bit. 18 font is okay. And when we rotate it, I think this looks halfway decent. Okay, so that is good. That part is good. So we have all our elements and stuff like that. For the table view, we'll click, control, drag and drop, and we'll say data source, control, drag and drop, and we'll say delegate. Okay, so that is good. We have the UI part actually figured out. So that part is good. Okay, next what we want to do is we want to create the outlet. So we'll come over here, we'll say go to assistant editor, and we will actually come over here and we'll select this and we'll say LBL company name, and this is LBL symbol. This is LBL price. This is LBL high. This is LBL low. Okay, so we have all our outlets created, and that is perfect. Okay, that is perfect, and we'll actually create the outlet of other table view. So table view, we'll say TBL view. Okay, so we have all the outlets created. That is wonderful. Okay, next what we want to do is let's actually go to canvas, and we will actually go to our announcements and stuff. Okay, so announcements, we'll actually go and look at the pod files. So pod file for the weather, these are the ones. You have to remember to actually remove the spaces and stuff like that over there, because there's some special characters that actually come up. So next what we want to do is we want to add the pod file. So we'll right click and we'll say show in finder, and then we'll actually open a terminal window and we will say cd, and we will actually go to this location. Okay, and then we'll say ls, so we are over there, and we'll say pod init. So pod file will actually be created, and then we'll say over here, we'll say file, open, and we'll open the pod file, and we'll enter these things. Actually, we don't need the run Swift and the IQ keyboard for this one, so we'll actually remove that. Okay, so that is wonderful. We have all of that, and then we'll say pod install. Okay, so we have pod install. So all of these things are installed, and we will close this thing up, and we'll say open dot, and we'll open the XE workspace. Okay, so that is good. XE workspace, we have all of these things over here, right? We'll actually right click and create a new group, and we'll call this utilities. Inside the utilities, we actually have two files. We'll actually come over here, we'll click next, and we'll say this file is actually API key file, and then we'll actually create another one, new file, and we'll call this as API URLs. Okay, so the API URLs will be over there. Let's actually, so once we have done that, okay, fine. Next, what we want to do is we'll actually right click and we'll say a new file. And I think like some of you guys were, when you were actually making folder and moving the main inside the folder, it was actually creating trouble. So if that is the case, just leave it like that. But I'm actually going to create a folder and say new group, and I'll say this is initial VC, view controller initial view controller, and we'll actually move this in initial view controller, and we'll move the main also over there. So that is actually perfect. Okay, so we have all of that over there. We'll compile. Everything should be compiled. Everything should be fine. Okay, so next what we'll do is we want a table view cell. So we'll actually open, and we'll actually let's open. Yeah, we will actually right click, and we'll say new file, and we'll say Cocoa Touch class. Next, and we will actually say stock table view cell, and we'll also create the nib file for that. Okay, so that is done, and we'll actually come over here. Okay, so that is good. We don't need this file. We don't need this. Okay, so next what we will do is we come over here. We'll increase the height of this a little bit. Let's say make it 60. Right, make it 60, and then what we'll do is we'll add label. So we'll add a label over here, and that label we'll call it as company name, and we'll add another label which we'll call symbol, and then we will add a button. We'll call this button as get price. Okay, so we have all three of them. What we'll do is we'll select all these three, and we'll say I want to embed you inside a stack view, and we will fill proportionately, and then we will actually take the stack view, and we will say you are I don't know, 5 from here, 5 from here, 5 from here, and 5 from here, all size 5. So that is actually good. Next, what we want to do is we want to create outlets for these labels. So what we'll do is we'll click, and we'll say control drag and drop, and we'll say LBL company name. And for this one, we'll say control drag and drop, and we'll say LBL symbol. Okay, so we did that, and did that for the get price. We'll actually control drag and drop, and we'll actually say this is get price action or something. Okay, so I'll get price action. So we have all of these things over here. Next, what I want to do is I actually want to create two values. So we'll say var symbol is equal to blank, and var company name is equal to blank also. Like we definitely need the symbol. I don't know if we need the company symbol and stuff, so that is actually okay. Okay, so that is done. Next, what I want to do is I want to go to the AccuWeather. No, not AccuWeather, the financial model prep.com, and then we will go to our developers. Sorry, we'll go to the dashboard first. I'll copy the API key, and in the utilities in the API key file, I will actually say let API key is equal to, okay, this. That's your API key. Let's figure out the URLs that I'm going to use. So if I go to documentation, and we'll say company code. So this is our company code, and this is the URL that these guys are making. So I'll come over here, and I'll say let API URL let company code URL is equal to, I'll add this, right? Okay. So out of this, I'll actually remove the Apple part and the API key part. That is done. Okay. Next, what I will do is I'll actually add a file called network files, network functions. So I'll come over here, and I will say this is network functions. This is a global function thing over here. We can actually use that a little bit later. Okay, so let's go back to our GitHub, and we will see what I added in the GitHub for network functions and stuff like that. I won't waste time. This is the one, I think. And then we'll go to the world weather, and we'll go over here, and we'll go to the utilities and network functions. Okay, so there are some of the functions. This is the get the location URL. So we'll copy this. We'll need that. So we'll come over here, and these are global functions. So over here, instead of get location URL, we'll say get stock company, get company quote, get company quote URL, right? And that will actually take a symbol. That'll take a symbol, and which will be a type of string. Okay, so that is good. So we are done. What this will take, it will take company quote URL, and then slash symbol, and then it'll be question mark, and then it'll be API key is equal to API key. Okay, so that is going to be your URL, and it is going to return the API URL. It is going to return that URL. Okay, so that is good. Next function, we'll see. We can either copy any one of them. Let's copy this. So this is my function, and I'll come over here and I'll say this. Okay, so so this is there. So get current weather. We'll say get company data, get company data, and we have to actually create a model, right? So we will actually come over here and we'll create a folder. So we'll say new group, and we'll say model, and we'll right click, and we'll say new file, which will be a Swift file, and this, and we will call this as stock model. Stock model. Okay, so we'll say class stock model. Stock model will have 4 different values, right? So where, so first thing it will have is company name is equal to blank right now. Where symbol is equal to blank right now. Where price, which is equal to 0.0. Where price, and then the second one was day high is equal to 0.0, and where day low is equal to 0.0. Okay, so we have all of that. We'll actually have an init function, so we'll say init, which will actually take underscore company name, which is a type of string, comma, underscore symbol, which is a type of a string. Okay, so we have all these 2 things. Okay, perfect. Okay, so then we'll say self dot company name is equal to company name, and self dot symbol is equal to symbol. Okay, so that is good. Next, what we want to do is we will add the utilities function, network functions. Okay, so over here we'll say stock model. Okay, and this is returning us a stock model. Okay, that is good. We make a Elmo fire request, so for that we need to import we need to import Elmo fire, we need to import Swifty JSON, we need to import promise get. Okay, so we come over here, we make a request, and then we'll say stock model is equal to stock model, right? So we actually create an instance of a stock model. Then we'll say company quote quote array is equal to JSON, because I think it actually returns an array. So you can see that it is actually returning an array. So we get that, the quote array, and then we will say stock is equal to quote array dot first, otherwise return stock model. Okay, otherwise return stock model. Okay, so next what we'll say is stock model dot okay. Oh, so we'll say stock model dot company name, stock model dot symbol, stock model dot price, stock model dot price, and then day low, and then we'll actually fix all of that later, and then we'll just take one more, stock model dot day high. Okay, so this will be equal to, instead of this, it'll be stock. Okay, so this is string value, this is also string value, and then the price would be a double value, and then this is also a double value, and this is double value. This is, I think, name. Let's actually come over here. This is name, price, day high, and day low. Okay, name, price, day high, and day low. Oh, stock. Okay, so we get all these values, and then what we do is we fulfill it with the stock model. And instead of this stock, we'll actually rename it, and we'll say stock JSON. Okay, so we get all these values and we return back. So get company data, it returns a stock model and all this other kind of things, and that is actually perfect. That is actually perfect. Okay, so that part is done. So the model part is done. So now what we'll do is we'll go to the initial view controller, and in this view controller, what we'll do is we will let's actually run this and see what happens. I don't like it because it does not show the dots in between, so I need to see. I'll stop it. I'll run it on iPhone 13 Pro Max. Okay. Okay, unrecognized sender, so it is actually not sending the request and stuff like that. I think like most of you guys were having that issue. So what we'll do is we'll actually go to the view controller. We'll remove this. I think that is why it is causing all these issues. So remove all of that. We'll go to our main, and we'll select these things, and we'll right click, and we'll remove the outlet like this. Remove the outlets. Okay, so all these outlets, and we'll remove this outlet too. Okay. That is okay. So all the outlets is actually gone. Next, what we'll do is we'll just have to draw the outlets again. So we'll come over here, and we will come over here, and we'll say this, control drag and drop, and we'll say LBL company name. Okay, I like this now because it's actually showing a dot over there. LBL symbol, LBL price, LBL high, and LBL low. Okay, and we will actually take the table view, drag and drop, and we'll say dbl view. Okay, that, and I think that should be it. So now when we run this, I think it should actually be okay. So yeah, unrecognized selectors into instance. So this is actually again happening. We'll stop this again. This is not good. So we'll come over here and we will actually delete the entire thing. We'll delete the entire stack view. Sweet. Okay, it's fine. Did this. We'll add the things again. So we'll say label. So you add a label over here again. Make this as 18, I guess, and then we'll say that this is company name. And this is center. Okay, so that is good. Alt, drag and drop. So we need 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So for the first one I will say your company name. For the second one I will say you are symbol. For the third one I will say you are price. For the fourth one it is day high, and the fifth one it is day low. Okay, let's create the outlets again. Oh, yeah, we'll copy all of that, insert them inside a stack view, and then for that stack view we'll actually say that you are 0 from all the sides. And for the stack view you will actually be filling it, and you'll be filling it equally. Okay, that is good. Okay, then we'll actually start creating the assistant editor, and we'll actually start driving these things. So this control, drag and drop, we'll say LBL, LBL company name. LBL price. Okay. Table view. Okay, so we have all these outlets which I created. I think this should be good for now. Save this. Hopefully it does not crash this time. God damn it. Okay, well, that is happening. What we'll do is we'll move the main up here, and then we'll run this again, and we'll see if that actually fixes it. I think that is not fixing it too. So then we'll go and we'll move the view controller also outside, and then we'll run this. Thread 1, table number of rows in section, stock view controller, unrecognized, table view. Oh, okay. So we, for the table view, we have not handled all these other kind of things. So we'll come over here. For the table view, we'll actually say UI table view delegate and UI table view data source. Right, UI table view delegate and UI table view data source. So we will actually implement those functions over here, and we'll say fix, and we'll come back over here. So over here, first thing we need to do is we need to say let no, where stocks is equal to where stocks is equal to is a type of array of stock model. We'll initialize it to an array of stock model. So it's a blank this, and if we come over here and we say stocks dot count, and this we can actually say let self. This will change later on, but that's okay. We'll say let's text equal to table view dot dequeue reusable cell with identifier for cell, and this will be index path, and then we just return cell right now just to make this work. So we'll run this thing. Okay, so that thing actually is not showing anything because there's no value inside the stock model, right? So that is good. I think it was crashing because the table view was not actually there. Let's put these things back in the initial view controller and see if that actually works. Okay, so that works. Okay, so next what we want to do is we want to initialize these values. So we'll write a function init values init stocks, right? So we actually said that there'll be 5 different stocks that we want to initialize, right? So we will say let Amazon is equal to stock model, which actually we take Amazon, and it will take AMZN. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, and Apple. So this will be Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and this will be FB, MSFT, GOOG, and AAPL. Okay, then we'll say stocks dot stocks append, and we will say AMZN. So 1 2 3 4 5 FB, MSFT, GOOG, and AAPL. Okay, so that is it. So I add all these things values, and then I'll say cell dot text view text label dot text is equal to stocks of index path dot row. This will change later on. Index path dot row dot company name. Okay, that is good. We'll actually run this thing, and this should actually show us those 4 or 5 companies. It's not showing up. Oh, we have not called this function yet. So we will actually call this function over here, and we will say init stocks. Okay, stop, and we run this thing. So we get all these values over here. That is perfect. Next, what I want to do is, instead of these values, what I want is I want to get the table view cell. This is what I want, right? So I will go to my code over here, and we will actually go to utilities. Is it utilities? Protocol. Let's actually create a protocol. So we'll create a protocol. So we'll go to utilities, and we'll say new file, and we'll create a protocol. That's a Swift file, and next, and we'll say protocol. Send stock delegate. Okay. Over here we'll say send stock delegate, and we'll say send stock data, and we'll say stock model, which will be equal to stock model. Okay, so that is what we are going to say. Next, what I want to do is I want to go in the table view. I want to go in the table view cell part. So I'll come over here, and what I want to do is I'll create this delegate. So that is over here. I'll actually create a delegate. We'll say send stock delegate is equal to send stock delegate. Send stock delegate. Okay, so that is good. And then when somebody presses a button, they should actually call this function. So when they actually press get the price, what they want to do is they will actually call this function. So they will actually say let URL is equal to get stock. Do we have a function in the network functions? Company code URL. So say get company code URL, and the code that I'm sending is symbol. Okay, so that's the symbol. I'll say that, and then I'll say get company data, and we'll pass the URL, and when it will be done, when it will be done, then it will return as a stock model. Okay, it will return as a stock model. We'll do something with it, and then we'll say dot catch, and catch will return us an error. And then we'll say print. Right now we are just printing it. Print error dot localized description. Okay, so that is good. So when somebody comes over here, they actually press this, they actually do that. Then what we want to do is we'll just simply call dot send stock delegate dot send stock data, and what are we sending? We are sending stock model. Okay, so all we have to do is saying that we will call this function. Whoever is listening to it, which is the main view controller is listening to it. Main view controller will take this model and then do something with it, right? Their function will actually be implemented over there. So we'll go to the view controller. So I think like that part, so everything on this part is actually done. We will actually go to the table view, to the main this and table view controller. So now we'll actually not do this. We will actually go to our table view controller. Or the table, I think it was in table view code. Okay, so we'll copy all of that. So come over here and we say, okay, so instead of this, we have a stock table view cell. Stock table view cell, and this is a stock table view cell. And then what we want is we'll say let stock model is equal to stocks row guard let stock model is equal to actually we'll not have a guard because that's not an optional. We actually do have a value in there, so we don't need any optionals, so that is good. So we'll say let stock model is equal to stock model this. We actually don't need any of this, and then we will say let stock model is equal to this, and we'll say cell dot LBL symbol dot text will be equal to stock model dot symbol. So we need to initialize the symbol. We need to initialize the company name. What we'll do is we'll also initialize the two variables that we actually had, right? We definitely need the symbol to be initialized because that is actually being used when we call the delegate function, and then when we press that button, and then we'll say company name. Yeah, okay, so that is all we do. And then we'll say cell dot send stock delegate is equal to self, which means that we will be handling all the code which is there. So we'll remove this part. Okay, so that is good. Okay, that is good. Okay, so we'll run this. There is let's see, send whether delegate cell dot send whether delegate is equal to self. Cannot assign self. View controller cannot assign type view controller to send stock delegate. Cell dot send stock delegate. That is what we assigned, right? Let's see what other bugs are there. Get current weather. Okay. What is this? Get the price action. Where is this coming from? Oh, yeah, we need to delete all of that. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. That's not working because we actually do not have send stock delegate function. Delegate over here. So once we actually have a delegate, it'll start complaining. So we'll actually fix that. And we'll say command X and we'll put this over here. Okay, and then we can actually do that. Over here, okay, over here we get the stock model. So we'll say LBL company name dot text is equal to stock model dot company name. So we need 5 of these values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll say LBL symbol, LBL price, LBL day high, and LBL day low. Okay, that is it. These two things are this is a symbol, so these two things are good, but for these the other one, which is the price, and this is the dot day high and day low. Okay. So these values are actually all three values are actually double, so we need to convert them into string. Let's actually convert everything into string. So we'll come over here and we'll say company, and then the company is, we'll escape this, and this is the company. Then we'll come over here and we'll say symbol, symbol is, we'll escape this, and that is your symbol. And then the third one is price, okay, that, and then day high, day high, and day low. Okay, So we have all these values which is succeeded. So we actually run this and then see what happens. Okay, so that is good. Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, and stuff like that. We actually will say, let's say if we do a get price is actually getting the price of Amazon, get price is getting for this. So this is actually working really well. Probably if we come over here, we should actually go to this, and we should actually say to all the stack view, we should say you fill it equally. Okay, so fill it equally might actually just put them in the same kind of things. Yeah, this is actually good. Get the price. Okay, only thing left is when the application launches, at that time I want the company name only for Apple, right? So we'll go to the vController, and we will actually we'll come over here, and we will copy this, and we will go to the vController, and we'll call a function. We'll call a function called get Apple price. That. So we'll say symbol is AAPL, and we get this. We get this. We get all this, and then once we do that, what we do is we'll just call this function. Self dot. We'll call this function, and that should actually do it. And we'll say get Apple price, and we'll call it over here. Okay, so that is working. I think that should conclude it, and I think it probably take, I don't know how long it took, so probably an hour or so. Okay, I'll upload this on the YouTube.